like damn. Give me some food for thought. Changing the pasta you had in your heart. Hey.
What's going on, y'all? What's going on? It's your boy Tyrell Clemens. I'm coming to you with my beautiful wife, Miss Wendy. It is time to give you a breakfast for your soul, your food
for thought.
For thought. So, Wendy, what do you have on this Thankful Thursday? I mean, give me something good, girl. What you got? You got something good.
Well, today's quote is from Miss Sophia Bush.
Sophia, what's Sophia say?
You're allowed to be both a masterpiece and a work in progress simultaneously.
Oh, you better use that big word. You at the same time. Give it to me again. You're allowed to be what?
You're allowed to be both a masterpiece and a work in progress simultaneously.
I like that, but I'm gonna dumb this thing down just a little bit.
You can be a hot mess.
And that's a hot mess. You can be a work in progress and successful at the same time. Because here's the thing: a lot of people have the misconception that they have to have it all together to be in front. See, one thing I've noticed is a lot of people who want to be leaders or want to be involved in the church or want to be involved in an organization, sometimes they shy away from taking a leadership role or shy away from being active in certain organizations because they don't really have everything together yet. And one thing I want you to get, and I'm gonna say it in a simple way, I want you to get this thing: broken crayons, still color. See, look, you don't have to be perfect to have a purpose. You don't have to be perfect to be powerful. You don't have to be perfect to be effective. You don't have to be perfect to be great. See, a lot of people just have this misconception that everything has to be good. I gotta have this right. I gotta have this right. I can't step out unless I have this right, or this right. But why would you?
Still have struggles.
You still have struggles. You can be a masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time. You don't have to have it all together, Wendy. Now, I'm not telling you not to strive to get better. That's why they say a work in progress, which means you're trying to get better.
Progress means you're still moving forward.
You ain't got it there.
Regress.
You ain't there yet, but you're working to become better. But at the same time, you still can be valuable. You still can have power. You can still be a star. You can still be great. Basketball players, for example, some of them, Shaq. Perfect example. Shaq was one of the most dominant basketball players of all time, but he couldn't shoot free throws to save his life. He was working on that. That was a skill of his that he was working on. Man could dunk, he could knock people down, can block, do it all, could dribble, but he couldn't shoot free throws. He was a masterpiece, but in the free throw arena, he was still a work in progress. He was working on it. And so what I want you to understand is you can still be great. Don't allow the fact that you have a flaw. Don't allow the fact that you have a felony record. Don't allow the fact that you messed up in your first marriage. Don't allow the fact that you had a kid before you were married. Don't allow these things to make you think you're not perfect. You can't be successful. That's not the case. You can still be a masterpiece and a work in progress. Perfection is not required to be a masterpiece.
I would say Martin Luther King is one of the most influential people of all time, but he still had problems.
That's right. Martin Luther King, I mean, he had a lot of issues. A lot of issues, and a lot of people don't want to talk. You can't be talking about Martin Luther King. I mean, I'm gonna talk about him. Man. I admired him, great man. He helped lead so many positive things, but he had issues and he had some problems. And Herbert Hoover and all of them and FBI, they kind of isolated those things and kind of broke those things out. But at the end of the day, you have to realize just because he wasn't perfect doesn't mean he didn't serve his purpose perfectly. You can serve your purpose without being 100% right. God wants to use you where you are. He wants you to be better. He wants you to strive to be better, but he don't want you to wait till you're perfect to be used.
Now, we're not telling you to go be working and being bad and just continuing to stay where you are and try to do it. Again, progress is key. Working to make a progress. But
the biggest thing I want you to get is you don't have to wait till you perfect to start.
No.
See, a lot of people like, man, I ain't good enough to be doing that. I've still got problems. I don't want nobody to hear what I'm doing. Man, look, get that mess out of there. Almost every politician that you know got some drama. Almost
every person.
Your pastor got some issues. Your bishop has some issues. Your deacons have issues. But just because you have issues, just because you have problems, don't mean you can't still be effective.
Because there's only one person that walked this earth that was perfect.
Right. And the issue, I want you to understand, perfection is not required to serve your purpose perfectly. That's deep. Perfection is not required to serve your purpose perfectly.
didn't make his own
You can be very effective in what God has called you to do. You can be very effective in what you are led to do, but it doesn't mean you in yourself are perfect. You can serve your mission perfectly, but not be a perfect person. But the goal is to always strive to get better. That's why our Bible study is called Swag, because we strive weekly to advance in God. You might not be there right now, but just because you're not there in your spiritual life, you're not there in your emotional life, you're not there in your financial life, doesn't mean you can't still be a very beneficial, influential person. So you can still be a masterpiece. So I'm talking to somebody this morning. When we talking to somebody, you still can be a masterpiece, although you're a work in progress. You still can be successful, although you ain't got your credit the way you want it. You still can be a good person, although you still trying to do this baby mama drama on the back end. You still can be a good person, although you got some folks in the office you trying your best not to cuss out. You still can be a good person. So don't allow anyone to make you think that you have to be perfect. Try to be, but you ain't gonna be. It ain't gonna happen. Just be the best person you can. Work hard every day. Strive to be better. But don't forget, you are still a masterpiece. You've been painted and created by the greatest artist of all time. You are still a masterpiece. Boy, you better, girl. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. The Bible says he created you in his own image. Man, you're made in the image of God. Girl, you about to get me a preacher. You're made in the image of God. You can still be great despite the things that you've done. You still can be great despite your past. You still can be great despite the things you're working on. You are still a masterpiece, but the work isn't done. You're still a work in progress. Keep striving and keep working on being better. Look, we love you. That is your breakfast for your soul, your food for thought.
It's the glimpse, it's the glimpse.